Shalom, back with part 5. Let's continue here. I have a book here, The Origins of the American Indians, European Concepts, 1492-1729. This is by Lee Eldridge Huddleston, right? Let me read you a few highlighted experts in here, right? Again, I'm not going to do this with all the books, people. It's just too much work. All right. Okay. Let's see here. All right. This is on page 33. There are, however, hints scattered throughout the early literature which indicate that the opinion that the Indians were descendants of the Hebrews. All right? Okay? And it was current and it was discussed. As early as 1511, Pedro Martir de la Alegría, 1944, all right, left open the possibility of Jewish origin for the natives when he reported the story that Columbus had identified Española as Ophir. You see that? As Ophir. I told you that, people. All right? That stuff is in the scriptures. All right? In part of his Decas printed in 1530 that the Indians of Yucatan practiced circumcision, but he did not postulate a Judaic origin. He didn't notice that. Many of the early writers have been credited with the belief in the Judaic origin of Indians. Miss Simon, again, I've already gave you her book. And of course, you know how she was mentioned in common with Lord Kingsborough and other disciples claim that virtually all the early Spanish writers believe this theory, and many modern authorities, such as in Bologna, Walthrop, all right, belief that La Casas, Avedo, Garcia, Juan Tormega, Diego, Duran, Felipe, all right, that they agreed with all of these guys, all right? All right. Luminous introduced the most theological arguments which were later advanced to indicate a Hebrew origin for the Indians, the basis for his story of how the Jews got to America was the 4th book of Esdras. You see that, people? I'll repeat. How the Jews, all right, got to America was the 4th book of Esdras. Jews talking about the 10 tribes, all right? A detailed discussion of these passages and of development of biblical arguments for Indian origins will be given below, all right? Okay, and what does it say here? The argument was that the 10 tribes of the Hebrews, exiled to various parts of the Assyrian Empire by Shalmaneser, right, the king, and had escaped to Ozareth, which is identified as America, right, the other land. See that, people? All right. Man, there's so much here. And again, they give you a reading of it right here. Well, we've already read. Those are the 10 tribes which were led away captive out of their own land in the days of Hosea the king, which the tribes, Shalmaneser, the king of Assyria, led away captive. See, we read that already. That's from 2nd Esdras 13, 40, and 45. We read that to you. All right? Okay. Suarez Perella interpreted this to mean that the 10 tribes taken captive by Shalmaneser the king had escaped to the land called Ozareth, which is America. All right? All right, people? All right? You see, you know, the truth is out, and you know what? It's been out, and you can't put the genie back in the bottle. All right, the horses are out of the barn. If you all follow what I mean, all right. Let's continue here. Most of the Hebrew tribes disappeared after the captivity, and those who were left were predominantly of the tribe of Judah. Again, see, those people there don't have all the information. And that's talking about the southern tribes. And I already told you people that some of the northern kingdom stayed with the southern tribes and went into other nations, not just into West Africa. Okay? All right? So you people should know that. Let's see here. I mean, there's a lot, people, and I'm not going to read this whole thing. All right? Okay. Let's see here. So much. It's unbelievable. All right, let's move on. All right. Again, there's another book called The Indian Slave Trade by Alan Gallay. All right. Another thick book. All right. What else we have here? From Columbus to Castro, The History of the Caribbean by Eric Williams. All right. Okay. Let's see. This is page, what is this? This is page 31 of the book. It says here, on his third voyage in 1498, he shipped 600 Indians, which again would be, the tribe of Ephraim. All right, back to Seville, Spain. The slave trade in the Caribbean thus began as an outward and not inward cargoes, taking the form of Indians transported from the West Indies to Spain, rather than Negroes transported from West Africa to the Caribbean. In the meantime, however, the Pope had enjoyed on the Spanish sovereigns the duty of treating the Indians kindly and converting them to Catholicism. Now you see right there, that's a lie. Okay? That's a lie. And so again, when you read, you absorb the meat, all right, which is the truth, and you spit out the bones, the lies. So that's a lie right there. All right? They were not treated like that. All right? The sovereign thereupon, they're just trying to hide the fact of their atrocities. That's what they're trying to do, all right, which they cannot hide. It's all over, all right? It's in the scriptures. It's in circular history. Everybody knows about it, and they know it. That's why they don't like talking about slavery, all right? The sovereigns thereupon issued a royal decree whereby the Indians who accepted Spanish sovereignty, you see that? They want you to submit, no different than right now. They want you to bow down to their agenda. All right? And they're going to find out the elect ain't going to do that. All right? The elect of Israelites and submitted to it without resistance were considered subjects of the crown. All right? Let's see. The decree left the road open to the enslavement of those who resisted. See? All right? So you go against the system, you don't bow down. You're an enemy of the state. All right? You're a terrorist, as they like to say. All right? The real terrorist is the Edomite, the white man. All right? Okay? And that happens to be the truth. Whether they like it or not, they can't change it. All right? Okay? Because that comes right out of the Bible. He's the dragon, the old serpent, which is the devil and Satan. He's that man of sin, the son of perdition. All right, the wicked. All right? You can't change that. I don't give a damn what he wants to tell you. All right? If you're stupid enough to believe anything he says, then you deserve what you get. All right. Here's another book, The Last Puerto Rican Indian, Bobby Gonzalez. Here we go. Again, the Yucatan, before and after the conquest. All right. Excellent little book here. All right, let me see here. I'll read something here from page 8. All right, some old men of the Yucatan say that they have heard from their ancestors that this country was peopled by a certain race who came from the east, again from the eastern hemisphere, right? So it's talking about the Israelites, the Indian tribes, whom the God power, right, the Most High, delivered by opening for them 12 roads through the sea. All right. Again, like I said, we were coming to the Americas during the time of King Solomon when he had his navy. That's how the Israelites knew to come here. All right. And again, they were guided by the hand of the Lord. If this is true, then all the inhabitants of the Indies must be of Jewish descent. You see that, people? Proves all the tribes, all right, of the Caribbeans, all right, of the Americas are Israelites, people. That's what it proves. All right. All right. Let's see what else. And this book is by Friar Diego de Landa. And again, we already mentioned it. He's one of the, what do you call it? He's one of the scholars. All right. One of many scholars. All right, I've got another book here. Bartholomew de las Casas, The Devastation of the Indies. All right. We have Christopher Columbus and the Participation of Jews in the Spanish and Portuguese Discoveries by Meyer Kaseling. All right. And I believe this book goes back. This book is actually very dated. All right. This is a revision, and trying to find out here. Yeah, this work was first published in 1894. All right. It happens to be Kaseling's most important work. All right. Okay. It says here Columbus discovered the islands of Dominica, Magalante, Guadalupe, and Puerto Rico. Puerto Rican tribes would be from Brother Manasseh, Cubans from the house of Joseph. All right. What else here? All right. There's a lot here to read, people. Let me see here. In Cuba, Hispaniola, and other islands which he discovered, Columbus found natives who had their caciques and their own language and traditions. To what race did these aborigines of the Americas belong? Several writers have asserted that they have displayed much learning in attempting to prove that the aborigines were the descendants of the Jews. See that, people? You know, again, people, I tell you, this stuff is all over the place. All right? Okay? This knowledge, this information, all right? It's all over the place. All right. Where else did I want to go here? Okay. What else? There's a book, very legendary book here. What is it? The Tears of the Indians. All right. The Life of Bartholomew de las Casas. Okay. All right. You got that. All right. The Tears of Indians being the historical and true account of the massacres and slaughters. Now, here they're going to tell you 20 million people. Now, we know for a fact, all right, historically, that these people easily killed over 100 million people, all right? And, you know, again, you know, the same thing can be said when they grabbed our brothers and sisters, you know, out of West Africa and kidnapped them and brought them over, all right, 126, 127 years later. from when the time Columbus landed here. All right, we'll be right back with part 6. Shalom.